Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video we will see how to prepare homemade plant booster for your plants or your flowering plants. Now for this we need couple of ingredients. All the ingredients are from the kitchen waste. The first one are the tea leaves. Now over here, ensure guys, if you are using sugar in the tea, you have to wash it properly before adding it into the soil or before making this plant booster, because if there is sugar content in the tea leaves, it can attract ants or it can even attract some insects. So we have to wash it completely. After washing it, put it out in afternoon direct sunlight so that all of the moisture is evaporated and it is completely dry. Now a lot of people also tend to drink coffee. Now I'm not very sure about coffee grounds because I have never used it. Now coffee grounds are definitely very beneficial for the soil. It has a lot of nutrients and it is very high in nitrogen. But if you're going to use it in excess, and if there is excess amount of nitrogen in the soil, even though nitrogen is very useful for the plant, but if it's in an excess amount, nitrogen can burn the roots as well as the plant. So you have to be extremely careful. Now I haven't personally used coffee grounds in my soil, so I cannot give you any information. I will never give you information with something that I have not tried. I have only tried tea leaves, so I can give you complete information on that. The next thing that we need are eggshells. Now again guys, when you're using eggshells, you have to ensure that you're cleaning it completely. Usually there is a little bit of film that tends to stay in the eggshells. You have to completely wash it and then use it, because if any residue of the egg is left in the eggshells, it can lead to mold or fungus. Now guys, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, instead of eggshells you can use banana peels. That is also going to work out really well, because banana peels have calcium as well as they have magnesium and potassium. Now I have the tea powder, I have the cleaned eggshells that have been out in the sunlight, and then we have the skin of the onions. Now remember guys, do not use the onion peels, but you have to use the first layer, which is basically like the wafer, which is very crisp. That is the one that we need to use. As you can see, so this is what we have to use. Now there is one ingredient that is missing, and that is the banana peels. Now guys, I do not have banana peel powder right now. You can either make it at home or you can buy it online. Now the reason why I haven't made it is because I tend to use it in the compost bin, or I tend to put it into the water. You might have seen my video. So I use it in a liquid form. But the reason why I do not make it is because the banana skin or the banana peel takes a very long time to get dried. And in my city of late, the climate was not very good until a few weeks back. It was raining a lot, because the banana peel takes a lot of time for it to get dehydrated. When we talk about banana peel, it has to get completely dehydrated because the banana peel contains a lot of moisture, a lot of water. So it takes a very long time for it to get dehydrated. We have to dehydrate it until it turns completely crisp brown in color and there is no water at all. Because if there is little moisture also, and if you're going to grind it or if you're going to mix it, it will become soggy. The mixture will become soggy. So for that you have to completely dehydrate it. Now I don't have much time. Apart from that, when you tend to keep it for drying, there are going to be a lot of flies also. So in order to avoid that, and because of the climate conditions also, a lot of times it starts raining. So even if the banana peels were dehydrated half, when it tends to rain, it again gets wet and the entire process you have to start again. So what I do is, in order to not waste so much of time, I use the banana peels in my compost bin. Or if you are a person who does not have a compost bin or cannot make compost, you can just add it in a jar of water. I will put the video link in the description below. You can check it out, how to prepare the banana peel water. Now, if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, you can use banana peels instead of the eggs. The banana peels also have a good amount of, or a good source of calcium and potassium, so you do not need to be worried. Apart from that, it has magnesium and it has even more properties, nutrient properties in it. So you can use the banana peel. Now if you're not able to make the banana peel fertilizer or the powder at home, you can always buy it online. There are good quality of banana peel fertilizers available online. If you're not able to find it, I will put the link in the description below. You can check it out. So now we will quickly prepare this mix. Now guys, there is no proportion as such that how much you have to add. You can add whatever is available. You can even make small batches as well. Now the only thing what I would suggest is do not make a very large batch and keep it, even though you can keep it for a couple of months also. but I would say the faster you use, the much better it is. Now for me, let's say if I'm making this, it will hardly last even for 2 or 3 days because I have so many plants, so it will not last for a very long time. But ideally, if you can finish it as soon as possible, it is better. So you can store it and keep it, but then I would say do not keep it for a very long time. So now I have put the eggshells and the tea powder. I will not put too much of tea powder. I think this should be good enough for the amount of eggshells that we have. So let me quickly grind this and get back to you. So now we are done with the grinding. You can see the powder is done very well. Now if you want, you can just store it in the container. And we are good to go. You can see it was so easy to make a fertilizer at home. If you want, you can use the dry banana powder because it's already in the powder form, so you do not need to mix it in the mixer. You can just add it into this and keep it aside. Now you can store this and keep it aside. Ensure that the water does not fall in this. You do not want any moisture or water to kind of fall into it when you're storing it, so keep it in a dry place. Now as I said, the sooner you finish it, the much better it is. Do not keep it for a very long time. I'm not very sure what's going to happen if you're going to keep it for a very long time, but try to finish it as soon as possible. Now this powder that I have made, hardly it's going to last for 2 or 3 days. It is going to be completely used by my other plants. So I will also show you how you can apply this to your soil. So guys, now I will show you how to apply this into the soil. It's pretty simple. So 15 or 20 days back I had added it into the soil, and the blooms are looking really beautiful. So I have this geranium. Now please do not use this for your dormant plants because it is nutrient. Plants that are resting should not be added any fertilizers. So my geraniums are in the growing season. They are flowering very beautifully. So I will be using it because 20 days back I had added a little bit of it. And this is another geranium. This is slightly reddish pink in color. Once when the flowers come, I will definitely show it to you. And this one is more red. And then I have another one that is the pink one. And this is a different pink one. Now unfortunately the painting and the renovation is still going on. That's why a lot of my plants are damaged. You can see even this one is very droopy, not in a very good condition because they were put in sun too much. That's why they're not doing quite well. Still a lot of work left. As you can see, nothing has been moved around. So I am slowly moving everything back. So now how do we apply it? First guys, anytime whenever you apply any fertilizer, ensure that you water the pot first. Moisten all of the soil. Never put fertilizers into the soil when the soil is dry. It is not a very good practice. It can harm the roots. So always wet the soil first, and then you can just till the soil a little bit. You don't have to do it too deep, just a little bit above, and then just take very little, just 1 spoon is more than enough, and just sprinkle it around the soil like this. Just a little bit. I'm just giving you an example. You can do it in the entire pot, little bit. And once this is done, you can just mix the soil once again and then give another watering, so that all of those materials can seep into the soil. So as you can see, it is pretty simple, and in fact these small little pieces of eggshells that you see can repel snails and slugs because they are pointy, and snails and slugs usually do not like to walk on something that can poke their body because the underneath of the snails, it's a very soft tissue and this can easily poke them. So the snails also will not, or the slugs will avoid coming to your pots. It also, the eggshells also work out really well for that, apart from giving calcium to the soil. So as you can see, it was pretty simple, but as I said, be extremely careful. Do not give this fertilizer for a dormant plant at right now. You can give it to the flowering plants. You can even give it to your rose plant as well. Now this is not the complete nutrition to your plant. This is just like a booster or an extra dose or a bonus for your plants, because you have to give your regular fertilizer. That could be anything what you have been giving all this while. Probably that is cow dung manure or compost or vermicompost, whatever you have been giving. This can be added in between whenever you have, like let's say 15 days back, because I do not use cow dung, I do not use compost, I just use the liquid tea, that is the liquid that tends to come out from the compost bin, I tend to use only this for my plants. That is only after diluting it in water. This is right now in a very concentrated form. I cannot use it right now because if I'm going to use this in a concentrated form, the plant will die. So this has to be diluted in water before giving it out to the plant. So if I use this, then after 15 days I can use little bit of this powder, just 1 spoon of it after 15 days, and then after another 15 days I can again use my compost tea. So in that way you can just balance and give it to your plants. If a plant is a very heavy feeder, then you can give it according to that. For example, a rose plant is a very heavy feeder, so for the rose plant you can kind of give it every week or probably every 2 weeks. You can do that and give it. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.